Hey friends, Malika Semper here from Malika Semper Astrology, and this week we have so much going on. But let's start here. May 18th, Mars enters Taurus. Mars, the planet of physical energy, drive, passion, motivation. Mars is really like our get up and go energy, right? He moves into Taurus at 3:25 a.m. Pacific, May 18th, for the rest of the month. So what happens here, how we feel this down here on Earth, as above, so below, there is a more methodical pace to our progressive movement forward. There is a more calm, patient sort of energy in moving forward. This drives some people crazy because it feels like there is a slowing down of forward momentum, while other people love this because they don't feel rushed anymore. It feels like we can move at a slower pace. We can pause, we can take breaks, we can rest. When Mars is in Taurus, it's slow and steady wins the race. It's methodical. We're not so much concerned with being the first, being in front of the line. We're not so much concerned with competition anymore. And then that same day, Venus also enters Cancer. So here's a little fun fact. For those of you guys born with Venus in Cancer, if you have that in your chart, you are coming up on your Venus return. And this is just such a sweet little signature of, it only lasts for about a week, 4 to 5 days, of romance and love and luck when it comes to finances. Finances and love, money and love is all like within your reach. You Venus in Cancers, because you are coming up on your Venus return. So May 18th, Venus enters Cancer at 6:05 p.m. Pacific time for the rest of the month. And this is going to affect how we do relationships down here on Earth. Venus in Cancer, there is now a desire to be really close with your person. Previously, distance didn't matter, and distance even perhaps felt good when Venus was in Gemini. But now she's moving into Cancer, and we want to be close. We want to be squishy close. We want to create family and feel like there is familiarity within our relationships. We can even want to be under the same roof when Venus is in Cancer a lot of the time. We want to nurture our partnerships, but we also want to feel that in return as well. Okay, Venus in Cancer. There's a sweetness. There can also be a moodiness. Emotional manipulation can enter relationships when Venus is in Cancer. The high road is nurturing, loving, empathic, emotional connection really gets heightened within relationships. But the low road of this is that we do get moody. There can be a little bit of manipulation. There could be a clinginess or a smothering energy entering into relationships as well. May 20th, the sun enters Gemini. So we are officially entering Gemini season, May 20th at 5:36 p.m. Pacific. Let's speak about our darling Geminis. They are here to teach us so much. Gemini is an air sign, so they live in their head. Gemini is a mutable sign, so they totally go with the flow. They're very versatile. They don't mind change. You can change plans on a Gemini and they'll pick up right where we left off. They're spontaneous. They're exciting. There is a childlike quality to our Geminis. I like to say that they have what's called Peter Pan syndrome. They never grow up. They're not meant to grow up. They're here to really touch upon the lightness of life, the lightness of being, the curiosity of it all. They are the great storyteller. They are also the great gossiper. That's how much they love storytelling. You will never run out of interesting facts, entertainment, something to speak about with your Gemini. They're here to teach us the brilliance of the mind, and that saying the thing moves mountains, that speaking to things, that verbalizing, intellectualizing. Being the student is something that is quite profound and where they find a lot of their wisdom here. Geminis can get into trouble because they never stop talking. They're so curious. Now, what's that saying? Curiosity killed the cat? Is that the saying? I think so. It sounds pretty harsh, but and so they're going to say the thing. They don't have very many filters. Geminis tend to be pretty uninhibited. They're the life of the party. They're going to never be boring. They don't do stagnancy. They thrive on change, and they thrive on moving in the direction wherever the wind takes them. You'll have fun with your Gemini. That's for sure. Now, the shadow side of Gemini is they could be quite gossipy. They love a good rumor. They can be quite scattered and ungrounded because they're doing many things at once. They're great at multitasking, but with that comes they don't necessarily finish things before moving on to the next shiny, bright, interesting thing. They are interested in many people. It's the sign of not just one-on-one relationships with Gemini, but it is the relationship of this person and that person, because people are so interesting, and why stick with just one, right? So they tend to have many friends, many interests. They tend to very much be on the go. It's the sign of commerce, transportation, running errands, the neighborhood, what's going on in the neighborhood. They're zipping around from point A to point B. They're gathering information in order to turn around and share the information that they've gathered. We love our Geminis. We will never be bored with them. There's always something to talk about. And they do have a brilliant, brilliant mind. They ask the most brilliant questions. They tend to be the student of life. And there's a little bit of mischievousness to them. Like, how far can they go? What line can they cross just a little bit? They always have a grin on their face. They have this mischievous twinkle in their eye, and you will have fun with them. Now, the other thing coming in here, we do have a Virgo Moon weekend, May 22nd, 23rd, 24th. This is going to be a weekend where we want to get our ducks in a row. It's a beautiful weekend to take good care of your health, because that's always a Virgo topic. How do you feel in your physical body? Maybe you need to move. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Maybe you need to do a little bit more clean eating. All those things can really come to the surface. It's a great weekend to organize, to create formats and structures in your everyday life. So that can come in with your work. That can come in with your literal workspace, cleaning up your desk, going through that junk pile. But it can also come in with your home. Like, what sort of structures and rhythms can you create in your home daily life that are going to create a more cohesively flowing state for yourself? Great weekend to get that in order. We could be striving for perfection, striving to get it right. So we do have to give ourselves a bit of grace and be gentle with ourselves this weekend, because the critic in us can really come up and out. Then we have that second full moon, May 31st, the blue moon, full moon in Sagittarius at 9 degrees of Sagittarius at 1:45 a.m. Pacific. This full moon has the planet Uranus opposing it, so it can be a little bit wild. A full moon in Sagittarius by itself is already wild, but this particular full moon, the sky is completely lit up with Sagittarius energy, and we want to play during this full moon, May 31st. We want to play, we want to laugh, we want to have fun, we want to explore, we want to go on an adventure. We would love to travel on this particular full moon. Because the planet Uranus is opposing it, spontaneity, surprises. We don't really need a plan. We're just going to go with the most exciting thing that comes in, right? It can feel, with Uranus opposing it, a little bit destabilizing, a little bit chaotic at times, but we can go with the flow because Sagittarius is also a mutable sign. And so Sag tends to be able to go with the flow, be spontaneous at the same time. We can really be looking at the world, our life, through a very philosophical sort of a lens, but we don't want to take life seriously right now. The sun is in Gemini, which also doesn't want to take life seriously. The moon is in Sagittarius, and it truly is this going out into the world, experiencing life and collecting wisdoms, collecting information, laughing the whole while. We can be a little bit obnoxious under this full moon, but we have a lot to learn here, and being open to the changes that want to come in can feel a little bit chaotic, a little bit destabilizing, a little bit wild, just because Uranus is speaking to this full moon as well. If you are a Sagittarius born between November 30th and December 4th, this full moon is bloop right on your head, knocking you on your head. You'll feel it the most. This full moon can be challenging for Virgos and Pisces. Virgos, especially born between August 31st and September 4th. That Sag energy can feel like a little bit too chaotic, too disorganized for you. And Pisces, especially born between February 26th and March 2nd, this Sagittarius full moon can just feel like too much. Can feel like, oh my God, let me go home and hide in my own quiet, sacred space. All right, you guys, I will be back for the month of June. Thanks for watching.